Fellow patriot, there is no other way to put it. Shit has really hit the fan. If you're like most Americans, you too have been caught completely off guard. And it's not your fault. Truth is, it's not even because of the coronavirus pandemic either. The real reason is lies. The World Health Organization and the media told us this is just a flu and it will be contained. These lies have already cost the lives of hundreds of people, and the death toll might reach hundreds of thousands in the coming weeks. For 2 months now, I've been trying to warn the American people of what's coming. Due to my work, I had access to inside information from the epicenter of the outbreak, and I knew this was going to be a life-changing event for our country. Most have called me crazy or paranoid. But despite all of this, I'm thankful to say that over 1,000 American families listened and took the action needed at the right time. The knowledge in this presentation has helped them keep calm and prepare in time for the coming disaster. The good news is that you still have some time to do the same thing. The bad news is that it is ticking away fast. That's why you need to stop everything you're doing right now and pay very close attention, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to blow the lid on 3 very dangerous lies going around. But why should you listen to me? My name is Stuart Adams. I've been an investigative journalist for over 23 years, and I've spent most of my life getting reporting on major disease outbreaks around the world. For me, it was personal. I lost my father to encephalitis when I was only 15, and that changed my life completely. I've reported from the front lines during the outbreaks of swine flu, avian flu, SARS, MERS, and even Ebola. And when I saw the images coming out of Wuhan, China in January, I knew I had to do something to warn the American people. I knew it would spread here, too. If you still think that can never happen here, just take a look at the news coming out from Italy. That's a first world country with modern medical facilities and a solid healthcare system. And right now, it's completely paralyzed. In fact, we are already in the hoarding phase as thousands of terrified Americans grab anything they can get their hands on from stores all across our country. Unfortunately, they are spending their hard-earned money on the wrong supplies. I'll tell you why in a few moments. But first, you need to see through the 3 lies out there that will make this pandemic even more deadly. The virus will go away by summer. Take a look at this chart. This shows the number of deaths caused by the first well-documented flu pandemic, the Spanish influenza. The disease was spotted first in spring 1918, but the most deaths and infections occurred in the fall of that same year. After the relative quiet of the summer months, the second wave that came during October and November was much more deadly and devastating. This nCoV-19 virus is transmitted similarly to influenza viruses, yet its infection rate is 2 to 3 times higher, which means that the same pattern of infection and death will apply to it too. It held true for the H1N1 swine flu that swept through the world in 2009, and the H5N1 avian flu that swept through the world in 2003. One thing is clear. The second wave of infection is much more devastating than the first outbreak. As bad as things are right now, everything will be much worse in October and November. This disease won't be gone come summer. In fact, it will come back with a vengeance. Judging by the numbers coming out from Italy, we could possibly see more than 1 million dead and 3 million Americans needing intensive care. Unfortunately, this projection might now show the real extent of the danger. It's time to look at the second lie we're being told. Only the elderly are at serious risk from this disease. Both French and Dutch medical professionals are reporting that half of coronavirus patients currently in intensive care units are under the age of 60 and 50 years old, respectively. In fact, there is a widely known case of a 16-year-old boy that was diagnosed with a virus and had no disclosed underlying conditions, yet wound up in the intensive care unit. Unfortunately for us, there are 3 more serious complications that are specific to the U.S. 39.6% of Americans are obese. 30.3 million Americans have diabetes. 121.5 million Americans have medical issues related to heart or blood vessel disease. All of these conditions make an infection with this coronavirus far more serious. Our intensive care units will be overwhelmed. This takes us to the final lie we're being told. Our medical system is prepared to handle this virus. During the next outbreak, USA Today notes that many West Coast states could experience 20 to 24 seriously ill patients per available hospital bed. As for the East Coast, sick patients in Maryland and Connecticut would have the most difficulty in obtaining a bed. 24 patients in serious condition, 1 hospital bed. Let that sink in for a moment. It gets worse. American national security officials warn that the vast majority of key ingredients for drugs that many Americans rely on are manufactured abroad, mostly in China. Everything from antibiotics to chemotherapy drugs, from antidepressants to Alzheimer's medications to treatments for HIV/AIDS are frequently produced by Chinese manufacturers. What's more, the most effective breathing masks and the bulk of other personal protective equipment, key to containing the spread of coronavirus and protecting healthcare workers, are made over there. Even the basic syringe is largely manufactured in China. Bottom line, we are almost completely reliant on China to produce medical supplies and drugs. If China decides to pull the plug on exports, we'll be facing a nightmare scenario. A lack of medical supplies and drugs, coupled with a wave of desperate infected people, will collapse our medical system. This is it, folks. The situation is darker than many Americans have ever imagined. As we've discovered, the second wave of the disease will be far more devastating than what we are seeing right now. No particular age group will be completely safe, and Americans suffering from obesity, diabetes, heart, or circulation conditions are very vulnerable. Lastly, our medical system is completely reliant on China and unprepared for what is about to happen. As desperate as the situation may look right now, there is still time to act. A small window of time is left before the nationwide lockdowns commence. But you must move fast. That is why right now I'm asking you to help me help you. I promised earlier that I'll share with you a secret that has already helped more than 1,000 American families regain peace of mind, even after seeing this nightmare scenario unfold. Back in January, when I saw what was happening in China, I knew that this disease was coming to our country. I knew most Americans will be caught completely off guard, and I knew most would not prepare until the last moment. That's why I contacted one of my old friends, Dan Taylor. He was a private contractor hired by Medics Without Borders to supervise and train doctors in pandemic prevention. Basically, his job was to make sure the doctors in the infected areas did not catch the disease, whether it was SARS, MERS, swine flu, or any other disease that had the potential to become a pandemic. Together, we set out to write a study from home course on how to help Americans prepare for the coming coronavirus pandemic. After 1 week of sharing knowledge and nonstop work, we had put together a study from home course to help Americans prepare for the terrible times ahead. And we named our work the Pandemic Protocol, Proven Steps to Prevent Infection. A complete take-you-by-the-hand blueprint to help Americans keep their families safe and their home infection-free. No fancy jargon, no academic lingo, no technical mumbo-jumbo that will take a medical degree to understand. Everything presented inside was gained through first-hand experience in dealing with the most infectious diseases known to man. We had one goal: to make this knowledge as newbie-friendly as possible. This is a foolproof, dirt-cheap shortcut to staying healthy and safe during any disease outbreak, not just the coronavirus. This book has been designed to answer any and all questions you may have about preventing infection. What should I be doing right now to prepare for the outbreak? What should I do if supplies are already out of stock? What should I do once I hear the virus has been detected in my city or neighborhood? What is the distance I must keep from strangers or people that might have been infected? What should I do if I suspect I have the virus? How should I deal with door handles or food preparation? If you do not have the answers to these questions, you are exposing yourself and your loved ones to serious danger. But that's not all. Inside, you'll also discover how to turn $200 into a food supply that'll have you and your family nourished and happy for a year. What to do if a neighbor knocks on your door asking for help and you don't know if he's been infected. How to live well even when society is collapsing around you. How to clean water so it's 100% safe to drink. More than 16 hygiene items you need to have stocked. Regular hygiene and sanitation procedures are useless during a pandemic. Step-by-step instructions for how to lock down your home during a pandemic. Your number one threat during a pandemic and how to survive it. Hint, it has nothing to do with the actual disease outbreak. Here's the flat-out truth of what's going to happen when you go through the course and do what it says. You'll have the power to survive and prosper through this pandemic without relying on the government or FEMA. As the American way of life changes for the foreseeable future, those prepared will rise, and you can be one of them. One who prospers and goes through the crisis on your own terms, writing your own rules instead of being told what to do by the government. You'll feel confident knowing that virtually nothing can catch you by surprise anymore. What this guide offers is vital and essential knowledge for the most dangerous and desperate times in recent American history. You and your family will be completely on your own, unless, that is, you have the ease to take actionable steps included in the program. As I said before, I need your help. Each dollar I receive from my guide will be used for something much more important. It's needed to keep my presentation online in order to get this crucial information to those people who need it and those who are willing to take their fate into their own hands. Even though many would pay as much as $300 for this guide, I don't need that. Not even close. We did the math, and the price we charge is just to cover our costs and keep this website alive. So, if you order today, in just a few moments, you can have access to the complete program at just $37. Just hit the button below and fill out the information on the form. The guide will be instantly delivered to you by email address. As I said before, already more than 1,000 Americans have decided to help us share this information, and they've regained peace of mind knowing they did everything in their power to keep themselves and their loved ones safe from this terrible disease. Thanks to their contribution, we've been able to update our package with 2 essential guides that complement pandemic protocol perfectly. Hygiene and sanitation become key to life or death during a pandemic. This is the focus of Secrets to Sanitation after SHTF. In this guide, you'll discover how to efficiently use limited hygiene supplies to maximize their effectiveness. You'll take comfort by knowing you'll make the most of the limited supplies you have and that they'll last 2 to 3 times more by using simple tricks. You'll also discover how to prioritize hygiene needs during a disaster. Valuable resources must always be kept for high-priority sanitation needs and not squandered on petty ones. How to be safe from disease by using survival techniques to dispose of potentially harmful waste and garbage. The second guide, Survival Mindset, will show you how to stay calm and focused during any disaster, not just a pandemic. You should know that the human mind is the most powerful weapon in any disaster situation, and this knowledge will make you sharp, aware, and focused even when others are falling apart mentally. This guide is dedicated to showing you all the secrets to overcome the power of emotions that can overcome even the most seasoned survivalists during a disaster. In Chapter 1, you'll discover the simple blueprint to coping with the emotional stress that can ruin even the most carefully put together survival plan. Anticipate, identify, and manage. You'll learn the simple remedies for the most crippling emotional states: isolation, anxiety, and hopelessness, and many, many others. This knowledge will keep you and every member of your group confident, disciplined, and steadfast, and will maximize your chances of survival. How to keep morale up and how to maintain a positive attitude. Using this information, you'll easily become a true leader of the community. Keep in mind that many people have lost their lives because they succumb to emotional stress first, and having this tool will make sure you are not among them. Listen, if you're really concerned about your family and the state of our country, you know that the pandemic has already changed everything for you. It probably left you stunned and fearful. Wouldn't it feel good to have all your current anxiety lifted right now? Well, you are lucky. You have stumbled upon a product perfectly tailored to the desperate times we're witnessing all around us. Even if you've had some survival experience, you know what is going on is completely different. Just go through the program, and you'll have the exact blueprint to surviving and thriving through this pandemic. No more wasting time on the internet searching for unproven preparedness information and getting more confused. I mean, think about the other things that you spend your money on, the expensive food stockpile, and the other books written by people who've never experienced a real outbreak. And if just one piece of advice inside this program can save the lives of someone you love, how much is that worth to you? As I've shown you, what will be happening in the following months is something that Americans have never experienced before. But I'm only guaranteeing the low enrollment cost if you click the button below this presentation right now. In fact, don't be surprised if you leave this page and find this page completely erased. The World Health Organization has embarked on a crusade against those willing to share the truth about this pandemic. So I really hope you'll take action in time. Read the guides and get prepared. And if you, for any reason, feel that this was not enough to lift your fears concerning a pandemic, I won't keep your money. I'm so confident that this program will melt away your fears, I even have a 60 days no questions asked money back guarantee. Just say maybe to the program, and if for any reason you want your money back, just send an email to the address located in the members area and you'll get your money refunded promptly within 24 hours. No questions asked. Moreover, ask us any questions regarding the program and we'll be glad to help you become fully prepared every step of the way. Just click the button below this presentation to test drive the program. Ultimately, I don't want to see another family taking the risk of not being prepared. I don't want to see irrational panic about this virus. We need facts and solutions, and they are here right in front of you. I really want to help them, but I cannot help those who do not want to help themselves. Right now, there are other fellow patriots who have gone through the program and felt bolts of new insights going off in their minds. And you get a chance to be one of them by clicking the button below this presentation. It's decision time, and one of the most important decisions in your life. Option 1. You can do nothing and ignore the information presented to you, or just hope this terrible virus will go away. But you've already seen the evidence that the pandemic is just beginning. Entire nations are right now under lockdown. Hundreds of millions of people are kept inside their homes, fearing an invisible danger, a silent killer that has already claimed thousands of lives. Can you truly think of yourself as a diligent husband or father and pass on an opportunity to keep your family safe? Doing nothing means taking on all the risks, exposing yourself and your loved ones to the greatest threat facing humanity in recent times. You didn't come here by accident. You were presented with an option to save yourself and those you care about. You have the only true solution in your hand, and you can take it 100% risk-free. Also, as I mentioned earlier, someone is trying their best to shut us down. It might not be long before they succeed. Option 2 means trying to prepare and to learn everything yourself, but time is something you don't have right now. Option 3 means getting the Pandemic Protocol Proven Steps to Prevent Infection program right now. A risk-free, worry-free, all research done for you plan. If you care about your safety, if you are really wanting your family to be secure and are willing to do what it takes to do that, this is the option for you. Click the button right now.